Next up is Stretch and Bobbito, radio that changed lives. This is a documentary that I believe is on Netflix. It might be on HBO. So this is in a documentary about an underground rap radio show started by DJ Stretch Armstrong, which is a lanky white dude. He recruited Bobbito Garcia, which is a Spanish guy, my guess would be Puerto Rican, to host the show. Stretch Armstrong was a club DJ in the 80s around New York, and Bobbito worked at Def Jam doing like show promotions. And while Stretch was going to Columbia University, he had this idea of starting the show, and it wound up becoming like the place to be for any and all hip hop artists. It became like this iconic show that each and every one of those artists like praise to this day. And it was like in terms of influence and impact, and it was just like a raw, rugged, honest, put together show where all these artists, which I'm going to rattle off some of their names in a bit, but like where they wanted to be. And it was like this rinky-dink little college radio station on Columbia University's campus that aired in the 90s from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. And I thought it was really dope that Robert Bobbito Garcia wrote the screenplay for this doc and directed it and put it together. It's dope for me to see when anybody's passionate about anything. And it definitely shines through how much these guys were into rap and hip hop. And they like show like some video clips from back in the day. They play a lot of audio recordings because I guess, you know, there was less video back then. And they used to record each of their radio shows on cassette tapes. According to Wikipedia, there's 212 of them, 4 hours long each, so do the math. And something they did in the documentary is they interviewed like all these, big name artists today and played for them from the VHS tapes. And I'm talking about artists like Jay-Z, Nas, Fat Joe. They would interview them and play them clips of those artists being on the show way back then. And it's like dope to see the reactions and look like they were just like handed a piece of history that they had lost. Or maybe they like had with them like internally, like internalized, but definitely not something that you can like pull up on YouTube, you know what I mean? I remember there's this dope freestyle by Big L and Jay-Z called the 7-minute freestyle that I remember from being younger being like one of those songs or freestyles that I would play and people like would ask, oh shit, who's that? Where'd you get that? I hadn't heard that before. And it's just dope by both Big L, rest in peace, and Jay-Z, a young Jay-Z at the time. And I found out from watching this that was recorded on Stretch and Bobbito, which I thought was dope. But I'm going to give you guys a list of some of the folks that were on this show during their span. These are all unsigned artists at the time when they're wanting, they're hungry artists that want to be on this one radio show that actually gets it, that actually gets this hip hop thing. And there's a stat that says that all of these unsigned artists that were on the show wound up going on to sell 300 million plus records. Not $300 million worth of records. That would be crazy in and of itself. But 300 million records sold. That's fucking bonkers. So here's some of the names. Nas, Biggie, Wu-Tang. All of Wu-Tang, by the way. All of Wu-Tang. Jay-Z, Big L, Big Pun, Eminem, Cypress Hill, Busta Rhymes, which says in the documentary that he used to record the Stretch and Bobbito show himself at home and then go to school, make a couple copies, and then go to school that week and sell the cassettes for $5. Fat Joe, Lauryn Hill, Common, Q-Tip, The Roots, KRS-One, Talib Kweli. Shout out to the People's Party podcast, by the way, by Talib Kweli. It's pretty dope. You guys should check it out. Royce the 5'9", Sway, Rosie Perez, Angie Martinez, DJ Premier, etc., etc., etc. The list goes on and on. It is definitely a dope piece of hip-hop history, New York history, radio history, and you folks should definitely check it out. Stretch and Bobbito. Radio that changed lives.